My name is Wayne Dempsey, also known as Third Level. I produce Jump Up Drum and Bass. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I always grew up with rock music, and I always liked fast, aggressive songs. You know, growing up, I was listening to Nirvana and Tool and a whole wide net of rock music. A lot of people associated music with race, culture, or class, I guess you could say. And when I came across drum and bass, I found that drum and bass was a genre of music that could be anything that it wanted to be. It wasn't just its own genre, but it was rock music, it was jazz, it was hip hop, it was multiple genres. In fact, there is no genre that I perceive that it could not be. So that was very refreshing, and a freedom of creating creative freedom, because I didn't feel confined to one genre of music when I grew up listening to a wide variety of music. And so to answer the question, I'll say that drum and bass is creative freedom and freedom from racial identity and culture. It's given me a positive outlet to express myself and really be in touch with who I am. When I start writing a track, I have a number of ways that my creative process formulates. I can have a concept in my head, like, for example, let's take a movie for example. Let's say Star Wars. I want to do a track that sounds like the Empire Strikes Back theme song. Okay, well, that's the concept that I'll have, and I'll run with that in my creative process. In that, I'll either start with the intro or start with the part of the track that has that character that I'm looking for. Creative process number 2. I can have no idea what I'm writing. I sit there and I'll engineer a bunch of sounds. I'll start piecing together what goes well together, what does not. There's always something that leaps out of my subconscious at me, whether it's a sample from a movie or a line from a commercial, which leads me to the next and final creative process that I'll use. Is I'll have on a DVD on mute. I'll play jazz radio channel in the background because I think that's the best radio station in the city. But I'll have random influences going on, or background music or background noise, and something will jump out at me, whether it's a cheesy commercial or the hook in a jingle, something like that. And that's I suppose the main roots that I use to come up with tunes. Growing up, I wasn't allowed to. If I was 12 years old and it said the movie was PG-13, I wasn't allowed to watch it. If it said PG-16 and I was 14, I wasn't allowed to watch it. So my parents are very strict on movies and TV that we got to watch. But once a month, my dad would buy me comic books. I guess his father did it for him when he was a kid, and he did it for me. And eventually, I got bored of Spider-Man and the X-Men and Batman, and I started moving on into darker comic books like Sin City and Spawn and what else is there? The Creech, and the list goes on. So my dad was buying me these adult-rated comic books once a month, and had no idea that he was feeding me adult content or a window into the adult world. So my number one influence, childhood influence, is science fiction and comic books. This right here, greatest comic book character of all time, man. Blows anything Marvel or DC out of the water. Todd McFarlane, Canadian genius, the inventor of Venom, Carnage, um, the sweeping cape Batman, and spectacular Spider-Man. But basically, Spawn is my favorite comic book and cartoon character. You know, he's so badass. You know, this fucking mercenary who gets killed, goes to hell, comes back, has hell chains and a cape that'll suffocate you and stuff. It's like an animal. Oh man, it's just brilliant, brilliant, man. Right here, all these rock CDs I've had since high school, grade school. Some of them go even further back. Let's see here. The oldest one that is here is the oldest one that's here, I gotta say, is The Offspring Americana, Deftones White Pony. This goes back to grade 9. This goes back to grade 7 or 8. Damn. And they still play. But the pièce de résistance, though, of all my rock music, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for these guys. Rage Against the Machine. Okay? I started taking my education into my own hands when I discovered this album here. That's how long it's been since I've taken out records. So let's go through some early drum and bass influences here. Not necessarily early, but by the time they stopped carrying vinyl in clubs or rocking techs in clubs, this was like my refined arsenal of destruction when I'd go spin a set. So we got Heist, Sleep in Your Eyes, and Spidersville. That was fun. That was a fun track. Pichet and DJSS, White Label. Can't remember the name of the tune, but I remember how it sounds like. All these tracks, I can hear them all in my head, even though I haven't looked at these in forever. Nuclear Warhead. Nope. This one's... I gotta say something about this track. So I bought this years and years and years ago. It said TC Stess. I don't know if that's the name of the track, but this is one of the most profound records I've ever had. And I would love to ask TC, did you write a tune called Stess? Is that the name of the tune? Because I got this as, well, a white label, and I'm not sure if it's exactly legal, right? But a great tune. I wish I could play it for you. Can't afford vinyl anymore, though. More DJ, SS and Pichet. Rockwell. Great guy. Awesome character. Amazing DJ. Even better producer. This was... wow. This was a good one. Noir. Ulterior Motive remix. Whoo! Okay, yeah. Don't know if we'll go through all these, but this one's another profound one. Alliance Amen by Atlantic Connection. I love the sample that he uses in it from Battlestar Galactica. When this first came out, I recognized immediately where he got that sample from. And this, I gotta say, is one of the bigger influences in terms of me producing, being a producer, and not as a DJ or, affecting my my musical ideas so much. But it showed me what I could do with a great sample, and it showed me that it brought sampling out of like being this mysterious, oh, where's that sample from, to I know where that's from, and that's something that's on TV right now, and I watch that. right? So, and it's just an uplifting track, you know? It's been a hard day. There have been plenty of them lately. Guarantee you there'll be more to come. Remember your self-esteem, your self-respect. Because people are watching. They need to know that they can count on you. That's a sample. Do I need to say anything about this one? Anything Ram? It's just amazingly produced, well put together, great sleeve, still has lasted the test of time. You know, I mentioned the sleeve because so many labels, I guess, didn't realize that, well, the sleeve is what's keeping the record safe or protecting the record. And you know, it would have been nice if all the sleeves to every single one of my records survived, you know? But Ram, they good quality sleeve, great artwork, amazing tracks, and on here we have Chronix, IMAX, yeah, Chronix and IMAX. Unfortunately, I don't remember how this one sounds anymore, but gets lost in the library of tunes in your head. White label. I'll pick 3 more that we'll do. Again, big one for me, comics. These guys had the sci-fi, but they always had that lingering, like, creepiness or like airiness to their science fiction. Kind of reminds me of something you would hear off of Blade Runner movie. If one of those replicants were playing, you know, some music in their MP3, if they had an MP3 player, right? They'd be playing something like comics. Call to Mind, but Satellite Type 2. No, Be True and Satellite Type 2. Satellite Type 2 I liked a lot. Okay, we do that one. I gotta find. Oh man, that's gotta go in there for sure. Oh, I gotta show that I have this. General Levy. General Malice. Old school heads will love that.
Just a few more, bro, because we're running.
Yeah,
I'm pretty much down to the last minute, so just
okay.
Wrap it up.
Okay, here we go. All right. Ganja Records is my favorite label, and this is off Ganja Tech, but Jamal, Splatter Patterns. I love that track. The way it breaks down, the way the bass is, and how aggressive the track is. You can headbang to this shit. It's fucking awesome. There should be more Jamal out there. I don't know, he never comes around to town. I've never seen him perform live. This survived all those years. This is not the original sleeve, but General Malice, Big Cat 14. On the other side, we got 8 months and 3,500 miles east coast to west coast. Rescue from the G4-5 song. I don't even know if that's the name of the song. But it sounds gully though. Someday, in your record store, I hope that you find a white label that's a remix of this tune done by some Canadian guy who you don't know. I love this track. This is one of the early tunes from when I got into DJing drum and bass that really drew me in and sucked me into drum and bass. And DJ Hype mixed this on Kiss FM one time with Pendulum, Girl in the Fire, and I'll never forget that mix. I was listening to it live that night, and that just reaffirmed for me, like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I'm in the right place, the right time, And something from the Jump Up roots again. We got can't remember who did this one. Anyways, the old Texaco garage. People ought to know how to respect. Love this track. And it's simple. Some people think it's annoying. I don't care what you think if you think this tune's annoying, because this tune was really well done. And that summer that this came out, this was like the barn burner of all those mixes. And anybody from Scarborough who remembers Jungle Appreciation Day, yes, that's going back. But those, now it's few people who were there. But yeah, this one got rinsed a bunch of times that night, and it didn't get old. So, anyways, those are some of the records. And, well, kind of feel like kicking out of my house now.
All right. That's a wrap.
Cool, man.
There is only one way to save our city, save our city, save